you've been exploring this underground dwarven colony. You discovered that a bunch of dwarves had messed with a portal to a shadow world. You did manage to close it. Silence has walked away already. So yeah, you all hop back into the cage and start working your way back up with that little wheel. Eventually you get back up to that floor where the Carnelian mine was.
I'm gonna call out in Dwarvish and see if he responds.
You do get a response. Like, did you survive? Is it okay?
Yeah,
I sort of survived.
We're still alive.
So are we gonna go back up now?
We're about to go back up, and then we're gonna head deeper after a rest.
They follows you into the cage, and you start lifting yourself back up to the top. Oh, my name is Zumi, by the way. I'm gonna lock myself in the dorms, and I'm gonna wait for my friends to come. You see him like pause and enter like little temple area here. Then you hear like shouts in surprise, like, "Oh no, what happened? Oh!" You're more shouting. "Oh, this is terrible."
Oh yeah, there's bodies in there.
They desecrated the temple. Oh.
Do we want to offer to help them?
No.
No.
He seems to have it covered.
All right.
So the hour passes. You're going to head back to the lift and go down again. It's like 23 levels down. Then you keep going. You just keep descending and descending. Down below, you start seeing like a little light. Biofluorescent funguses. It's kind of pretty, actually. It's like purples and greens and like.
Someone should try eating one.
I will pluck a bunch of them.
Actually, before that happens, you remember seeing a fungus like this before, and Smoke saying, "Don't touch." Does Raj still want to touch it as he reaches a finger out? No, I'll probably remember. Pull back.
I think someone would slap his hand out of the way if he kept reaching.
I'm reaching for it.
Can I smack his hand out of the way?
Sure, roll attack.
Oh!
Oh no.
Not good. Not good.
Raj grabs one of like a smaller toadstool just popping out of like the rock there. And as soon as you grab it, you just feel this weird tingling up and down your palms. Roll a con save. Oh no. That's not good. Sorry. Roger, your hand, the skin of your hand starts to turn black. And you just start feeling little fungal filaments working their way through your flesh.
Okay.
Oh, you take 10 necrotic damage.
I agree that's not good.
You can't feel your hand anymore.
Oh, okay. I could ask Lothar for a reroll on that save.
You could. You totally could. Time reverses almost, and it doesn't happen. You can, like, in your hand, you can feel like that tingling starts becoming a stinging as like filaments start to like reach out into your flesh, but you drop the fungus before anything can happen. So you land here, and looking north, you can see a ledge of some type, and you see some corridors pointing out to the southeast and southwest. It's like maybe a 5-6 foot drop to like the next level down below, and beyond you can keep seeing just more tunnel.
Griff will drop down, head forward and drop down again.
You're just running forward apparently, and you're just walking ahead, and you see a big room with a pool. And as you're standing on the ledge, you start hearing in a language you probably don't know, just this wet, moist, guttural shouting. You just see these 3 tall, spindly, humanoid figures with gills and just long, veined fingers. And they're pale white. They're like just albino white with like big black eyes. And they just start shouting and shouting like, does anyone speak Sahuagin? Sahuagin?
I've never heard of that.
Never heard of that one either.
If everyone looks confused, I'll pop up comprehend languages.
That can be your first action as you all roll initiative.
Okay.
I am going to probably come in here, tuck in and hide, and I'll hold my action.
Griff is probably going to try and just like hold his hand aside and be like, but what he's actually going to do is cast comprehend languages. He can do that now.
Well,
How does Griff cast spells?
At the moment, he he does it largely without realizing it. So he's probably just flailing his arms, being like, "We mean you no harm. We come in peace."
There's like a burst of magical energy.
Right here, I am going to use Druidcraft and emit the faint odor of a skunk in their direction.
As you're all like, your senses are like honing in on what's happening, looking ahead of you, you see that there's two who appear to be a little bit bigger, and they're holding like long, like trident like spears, and they're shaking them at you. But there's one behind them that's a little bit shorter, and this one has like a fancy necklace on, and it is going to cast on that 15-foot square there. Sorry, takes 13 thunder damage, and Griff and Avia take 6 thunder damage as this blast of energy emanates off from the creature and hits the three of you. And Starly, you were pushed back 10 feet. You're actually bounced back 10 feet, like up the ledge, away from it. And the creature shouts, "Intruder, stay away!" And with the last of its motion, it jumps into the water here.
Okay, I'm gonna put my hands up and just repeat, "We don't want to fight," in every language I know.
I am going to cast Mage Armor on myself.
They're swimming up and they're like holding out their tridents at you threateningly. And like Griff, you hear like, "Stay back! No dwarves, no intruders, stay away."
I'll have my short bow at my side, but I'm not actively trying to shoot at them right now.
We're sorry for intruding. We'll be going now.
You hear the creatures actually shout, like, "Yeah, we drove them away. They won't bother us anymore."
Now I kind of want to fight them.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you didn't still want to try to make friends with them.
And you hear shouting, "And tell the dwarves to stay away too." You hear, "You're so peaceful. That was very nice of you to not slaughter them all."
Yeah, that was weird.
You start seeing more of that fluorescent glow, the bioluminescent glow from what you remember was the mushrooms. And as you start peeking into this next chamber here, it looks like a much bigger room, just filled with a bunch of these mushrooms all over the place, like more than what we're seeing here.
Hey, Raj, found you some more mushrooms to touch.
Thanks. Thanks.
Griff will look around and remark, "I don't see anything I want here. Let's burn it to the ground so no one else can have it either."
You do spot along the wall here a little wooden chest. It looks like one of the dwarven chests that you saw in some of the upstairs bedrooms. You see inside a full, like, heavy cloth bodysuit. Looks like dwarf-sized.
Like a bee suit.
Almost, yes. You figure you could probably hack a path through in a few minutes. If
Okay.
that's what you want to do.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
As you move ahead, you just see more passage. You continue on.
I don't hear a no.
The tunnel opens up. It breaks out through a wall of some type. And beyond, you can make out a carved floor.
Do we hear anything in there?
Very faintly, like a ticking of something on a stone floor.
I'll send Scooter to take a look.
Scooter catches a big, bulbous body hanging off like 8 legs. You see more just up there. You see this ledge opens up to like a big corridor beyond, and you see doors that are open.
We want to know more? This could be a really good opportunity to learn about them.
What do we know about these spiders so far other than that they sense tremors?
They scare the crap out of everyone. Also, they're pretty much everywhere underground.
And you also had a vision. You remember you went to the weird tower and saw like this vision of them, and it was literally thousands of them packed together in some tunnel somewhere.
Yeah.
So no matter how weak they are, they will just bring you down with sheer numbers.
Do we want to try and seal a bunch of them in?
I mean, I'm cool with racing across and pulling the lever really quick and darting back out before they know what's going. I'm going to dash.
As soon as you get there, this creature jerks and it turns toward you. It's going to rear up, and those fangs both take a strike at Starly. You take 3 piercing damage as one of them pierced into your skin. Starly, from your place here, you can hear, it sounds like a bunch more. Just more of these little tapping needle feet on the floor, but from beyond the doors, it sounds like.
From this distance, he can actually see the tumor spider, so he is going to swing his sword and fire off an eldritch blast at it.
Your blast into its body and like it staggers aside, but it's still up.
She's gonna pull out her short sword and take a swing.
Slice into the body. It kind of squirts. It stinks. Right there, it stinks. And like this ichor squirts out of its body. It's just going to follow you. And yeah, it's just going to keep trying to fang you. Oh, this one hit. Take 4 damage to the body.
Alright, I'm going to move a little bit, and I am going to cast Eldritch Blast, which I can do 2 times.
You kill it. You blast off its body, and it like blows up in a spurt of yellow goo. It's gone.
Seeing as it's in distance, I'm just gonna close the distance and throw that lever.
When you pull it toward you, it gives, and it starts to pull toward you. You do suddenly see it appearing at the doors. One that's much bigger.
I am going to cast Eldritch Blast again 2 times.
14 damage. You blast it apart.
I will guiding bolt this one.
That hits. You blast it apart too. Like squishes apart.
Okay.
Starlight, gonna beat it back there.
Yep.
As you moved, you did see this big one react as it like swiveled in your direction, and then it swiveled as if following you, moving away from it. Like maybe this one has a longer range of sense. It is their turn again. It is action, not movement, then it's gonna action toward you. Miss, I believe.
Yes.
Oh, that one will hit though. So it pierces your body.
I am going to keep running towards the exit, and I will loose some arrows along the way.
Misses again. You're like too freaked out about what these things are. This is kind of nightmare fuel. Just
Yeah,
they don't make any noise. They're just all you hear is that the feet just clicking on the ground. This one is bigger. This one that came out is like 6 feet tall. The body's probably like 3 or 4 feet wide, and these huge, just white spindly legs.
I'm going to cast Witch Bolt, and stream of electrified water shoots out of my hand, and I am going to center it on the big one.
22 damage. Yeah, it takes a big wolf like energy, and it starts to sizzle.
And I'm going to summon my tentacle and have it centered on the big one.
You slam into it. The body staggers. It's still barely holding on, though. It looks really bad.
So Griff is going to use his bonus action to cast Hex on the big spider. One right in front of him.
You slice it right down through the body and almost cut it in half, and it just falls apart right there, and you have killed it.
He was expecting it to be more difficult.
Oh, sorry. The door opens again.
So he'll make his extra attack against one next to him.
You slice it down. So you strike the big one down, and just for expediency's sake, as I said, individually they're not very strong. There's only 5 here, so over the next minute or two, you manage to just like cut them all down. I mean, only takes a hit, like maybe 2 hits to kill each one. So you escape relatively unscathed from this fight with these weird creatures, and you close the door. The corridor has collapsed in. It's like a big, giant, like just landfall of rocks came in and crashed, and seems to have closed off this end of the corridor. The other side continues on in that direction. Nothing.
Okay. So I will convey to the group that there's a couple of tunnels up the way here.
It looks like the corridor narrows a bit into like 2 distinct tunnels. And just looking ahead, you can kind of peek down either tunnel. It looks like something in the distance is glowing. glowing golden. It looks like they both open to the same room, and you are seeing something big, vertical, glowing gold in the distance. Looks like a door. With that roll, looks like a door. The carved tunnel ends here, and this looks like kind of a natural cave again. You see an inlaid floor of blue stone. And I think Starlight would recognize that this is lapis lazuli. And it's like a whole floorway of the stuff leading up to a gigantic metal door, which is glowing gold. It's basically saying these doors made in the 522nd year of the reign of Totapa.
Is that a sarcophagus?
It's a dwarven-sized tomb. There's like a dwarven figure, like a martial knightly figure carved in the stone on top of it. And looking around, you're seeing 3 carved dwarf statues, kind of reminiscent of the figures above that came to life and fought you.
Okay.
Raj, don't stick your head in it.
All right.
Don't do it.
Start that door. You're standing right next to, looking at it. It's carved with like ornate geometric figures, and there's dwarven runes on it. And yeah, it looks like real gold.
Is it like split in the middle like a double door, or does it look
There's
like
a
it would?
split. You're standing there. There's a split in the middle, like a double door. Roll investigation to take a peek at it. You're not seeing any kind of mechanism. There's no knob. You're not seeing a locking mechanism of any kind. It's just like a seam in the middle or some kind of double door.
So are we thinking this was maybe some kind of ancient dwarven civilization and the dwarves in the mine kind of digging down to it to reclaim it?
Is anyone going to knock on the door?
I bet a couple of us could get on one side, and Griff could get on the other, and maybe try to push.
You don't want to knock first? I'm going to knock.
You hear a thud. There's an echo. No response.
I start to push.
No, it's not budging.
Does it look like it could be activated with some sort of phrase, maybe?
Arthur realizes that there are, some doors that work with like phrases or magical mechanisms. Hard to tell with this door. Never seen anything like it. Everything is beautiful, actually. You want to hang out 10 minutes while Raj casts Detect Magic?
Sure.
And then Raj completes his spell. He gets a ping from the tomb, and there is a pretty powerful ping of magic from the door.
Do I learn anything about like what?
So the door you're sensing is conjuration, strangely enough. And from the ping on the tomb, you're getting enchantment.
I'm just gonna start speaking random phrases like the deep, welcome to the deep, 522, Totapa.
Yeah, I'm gonna start saying random dwarvish phrases to see if anything happens.
You're all going to spend 5 or 10 minutes talking to the door. Roll, whoever's going to do that, roll another intelligence check. The door doesn't seem to be responding to any verbal commands.
I'm just gonna put my hand on the door and like ask it to open.
No response.
We could try attacking it.
Should we just leave?
I could cast Vicious Mockery at the door. If this door were invisible, I have a spell that would have let me see it.
The dwarves must have had, right, if they were looking for this, they must have had a way in mind that they were going to get through it, right?
I don't think that dwarf that we saw would know anything about this. He didn't seem to know anything past really the 16th floor.
Yeah, essentially, we kind of drew a short straw on the dwarf philosophy with him. He doesn't seem to know much of anything.
And if we're not supposed to mess with this guy, what happens if we open the door? I mean, we're either going to open up this guy or leave, I guess.
Well, before we screw with that, I am going to cast Ice Knife at the door because it is a conjuration spell.
You see a bit of it like start to like, for a second, part of it frost over from cold, but then almost immediately the icy particles evaporate into the air and the door seems unaffected.
Yeah, I guess there might be a key on the tomb, but equally there might also not be a key in the tomb. In which case, we'll just end up fighting skeletons or
That
statues for no
that-
reason.
that's kind of a good point. Is there a keyhole on this giant door anywhere?
You all looked. You didn't see any kind of keyhole. No mechanism that will remind you of a key.
I suppose there does have to be a way to open the door while it's still magicked up, otherwise nobody would be able to enter or leave.
I agree. I just think it's a spell we don't have.
I wonder if it's in one of the other tunnels that we didn't go down. Like, I wonder if there's something in there that we'll find that will correspond to the door.
I can throw a jar of honey at it.
Don't think that will work.
Okay. Well, if we're probably going to end up going down that unexplored path at some point anyway, maybe we should just do that first, just in case.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
do that and then come back.
You just walk through this area here, and you discover like a little area what looks like dwarves were living and working.
Like recently?
It looks very recent, yeah. You see down this area here, like a table. There's like a stale loaf of bread. There are barrels of supplies. You see actually some rope. You see more of those weird tuber things they eat. This is a keg of ale. This area to the south here is kind of interesting. There are little clay pots on top of it. It looks like, as you lean over, it looks like dried up mushroom heads, like the ones from below. And there are 2 chests next to the workbench. It's not a good lock. You're pretty like jiggle for a few seconds, but you manage to open both of them, and inside are little clay pots sealed with wax. There's like maybe 6 in each crate. You're glancing at the little pot at the workbench, and at like the dried up mushrooms there. Maybe it's a kind of extract.
Mm.
Over here on the southern wall, you see a pipe poking out of the wall.
Is there anything on like the sides of the pipe on the inside? If it was sketchy or...
It was pretty corroded.
They were shoving the mushroom goop down there.
I could turn into a spider or a rat or something and scamper through the tunnel if we really want to see where it goes.
It could go somewhere really bad.
Yeah, and then you would just be in the tunnel. And if you get injured, you like return back to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it would be an hilarious way to die. I think we might be stymied.
Yeah, I think so.
And in the distance, every now and then, you do hear speaking in a language you don't understand from the direction of the pool.
Do you want to try to make friends with them again and just see if we can ask them about the door?
We none of us can speak their language. You can hear it, you can understand what they're
Yeah,
saying.
we can. Yeah, that could be enough. Like, if we can get them to at least not attack, then I can like draw pictures or something about the doors. Or we could go grave robbing.
Okay, so you all see Starly transform herself into a spider, lands over here by the entrance. Say Raj, nudges her along, and Starly starts heading along that direction. And because you're so small, you don't need to make any like deck saves or anything, because you just easily crawl through the passage. After maybe 10 minutes, you find that the passage does branch off. After just another minute or two, you kind of see yourself at the back of this area up here.
So there's no other way in or out of that room besides the water, right? Like, what are those dudes doing there? We're sure we don't want to try to make friends.
If we don't make friends with them, or we don't check out like the crazy drop on the other side of the tunnel, then like our only option would be to like head back up really, because there's
Or grave robbing.
Yeah.
or grave robbing. Yeah,
But-
there's that too.
But the way down leads to spiders. There's just spiders down there. Down is just spiders always. I don't know why we came down here. But saying that, if we can make friends with these people, at least 2 of us can go down into this water and see if like there's information.
So you've heard of people, people who don't speak languages sometimes meet and they just lay out objects across from each other and like do finger pointing, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay out some the shiniest coins I have, whether they're gold or copper. I'll open the jar of honey, lay it down, and like a handful of ball bearings.
So as soon as you start approaching, they do note you. I mean, you're not hiding, so they just like
Yeah.
note you, and they just like start like. Shh. The two warrior ones, it seems, are in front, shaking their spears at you and shouting out. But after a few seconds, the one in back, who was the magic user, kind of like speaks to them, and they like quiet down. Are you casting comprehend languages?
Yes.
It's telling them to like calm down. We already fought them once. Let's see what they want now. And then it sees you pointing at like the goods, right? What's going to come up? Oh, they want to give tribute. Ha ha ha.
Okay.
It pops up here next to you. It's looking over the items.
I will tell everyone that they have accepted our tribute.
It's gonna start grabbing everything. It's gonna take your gold.
All the
That's
stuff I
it,
put
that's
down. Yeah. Okay.
It's taking how much gold do you have out?
I put out like a handful of random coins.
I'll say you put out 5 gold. Okay.
Okay.
It just scoops it all up. Adds a little bit satchel on a tip to look at it. While you're watching, one swims away. It dives down to pull. You see the ripple of water as it like just swims below. But after a minute, the one that left swims up again. And there's also another one. First, it shouts out in the language to the others, like, "You idiots, get back here! Don't take their stuff." They start arguing, but it's tribute. They said, "No, it's a trick. They're trying to like trap you or get you out of something." Then it looks at Raj and says, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" In common, this is our land.
We're not looking to cause any trouble.
No, we have enough trouble with dwarves. We don't need Ribbiton poking around here too.
The dwarf trouble is kind of why we were here. They got a lot of themselves killed, I guess.
Yes, none have been down here for a while. We suspected they had some kind of issues, and that's why we're free to explore this pool now.
We're not trying to stop you.
Good.
We're just trying to make sure all the trouble is dealt with.
Would they
Well,
attack me if I started speaking Dwarvish?
I think you've only got one way to find out.
I'm good.
This one's saying, "We just want to explore and live in peace and quiet, but the dwarves sealed this area off from us."
Like I said, a lot of them just died. We might be able to offer them like your help in rebuilding, and then they would have to let you up.
Kind of spits to the side. Dwarves take no help from anybody. So who are you? What brings you down here? This is very deep for you, your land-dwelling kind. Look, I see a hobbit. No, yes, in our language we call them hobbits, but you call them halflings. There's a human male. Not sure about the others. I guess humans. You do not live down here. What brings you so far deep?
Well, like I said, the trouble with the dwarves, and then I guess we kind of just got curious.
This is a strange area not made for your kind.
Yeah. About that, we saw some weird creatures over by an open door that we closed. Do you know anything about them?
We are just now exploring this area, so I don't know the store of what you speak, but what creatures are you talking about?
Well, I will describe them in great detail.
The weird, creepy tumor spiders.
Yeah. And I'll tell them where the door is and strongly suggest that you do not open that door. There are many, many, many of them back there.
Very strange. We just keep to the waterways under here.
Okay, well, be careful of them.
Thank you for the warning. You should be careful of the dwarves.
Well, like I said, they're pretty much kind of dead.
I'm sure they'll be back. They always come back, like pests from above.
True. We saw this big golden door. You haven't been that way yet, huh?
We have legends of a vast golden gate in this area.
Could we maybe all work together to try and get through this door and explore it together?
They say it leads to more dwarves, in all honesty. It's a golden door, so we would love to have it, but if it leads to more dwarves, then perhaps the risk is not worth it.
They're sort of like your spiders.
He spits on the ground. Dwarves. Puffa.
Right. Okay.
Do your legends tell of how to open the door?
We had ancient magic users with tremendous powers at one point, but they have all died. We said that the legends say they could open them.
I'm gonna ask them if they know anything about Totapa or the deep.
The deep is all around us. The deep of the world, the deep of the water. Even, I guess, if you're from above, the deep of the air. The dwarves called underground the deep, I think.
Like I said, we can try to put a good word for you. But while we're here, I mean, I did offer like some trade. You got any like cool stuff down here?
What type of goods do you seek?
Well, I don't know. What do you get down here that we don't get up there?
We have kelps of various types to heal ailment. Have you found that disgusting fungus that grows everywhere? We have chemicals that can counteract its effects if you accidentally fall into one.
Oh, that's interesting. That could be helpful.
He says, if you mean to trade, we can bring a merchant here to speak with you. Yes, my name is Skopos. I am a lieutenant of the Underwater Queen's Guard.
Oh, okay. I'm Raj.
We rarely trade with humans above. They never come down here. It's mostly other tribes we find on the waters below.
Well, if you're looking to set up franchises, we'll put in a good word for you.
We once lived above, but down here is pleasing to us now.
Did we want to explore the water?
Say, like, would you wish to visit our queen? I would have to ask her. I don't know why. You don't seem a terribly hostile intent. We did in my sergeant here says he scared you off once, so you can't be that. So excuse, I don't mean to be rude.
No, that's all right.
I'm sure we'll ask the queen. I mean, I'll probably need a permission. We can arrange for you to like breathe underwater, and we will take you to our home if you really wish to explore.
Not hearing a no.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so as you're talking deep under the earth to these Sahuagin,
Lagoon people.
Lagoon people. We'll close off there. We'll fade to black as you're talking and find out that, they're only sort of assholes and they seem to be open letting you come down to explore their layers below the waters. Yeah, so fade to black there. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.